Today, the Chicago Maroons will seek revenge against the team that bested them 8 days ago as the 24th ranked Maroons take a trip to the Big Apple to face the 3rd ranked Violets of New York University. The Violets currently coming in with a record of 17-1. They stand alone atop the UAA standings at 6-1. 3 teams right below them at 5-2, Chicago, Wash U, and Emory, all hot on their heels. This is a pivotal matchup to determine the conference champion in just a few short weeks. Chicago with a record of 14-4. They are 5-2 in conference play. They are undefeated away from the Rat, 9-0, and they have multiple top 5 wins over the aforementioned Wash U and Emory squads. However, NYU may just be a different beast. They have taken down the Maroons in 6 straight matchups, including 8 days ago where they took the Maroons down 83-66. Their only double-digit loss of the entire season, and the most points they've given up in a single game all season. NYU scoring leader in that game was Tristan Howe, who is still the overall scoring leader for this Violet squad. He comes in averaging 16.2 a game, and he put up 19 in Game 1. Brock Susko, Jack Stone, 16 and 15. You may be starting to see a trend here. All these players are grad transfers. NYU, perhaps the most experienced team in all of D3 basketball. They have 8 different grad transfers on their roster who are playing in their 5th year of college basketball. All of them are using their COVID years to get that extra playing time in before they move on to other passions, and the Violets are taking advantage of that system this season. Violets coming in with 5 players averaging at least 11 points per game. Howe with 16.2, Susko 12.4, Stone with 11.4, and then Hampton, Sanders, and Zay Freeney, who are homegrown products, averaging 11.8 per game. Behind them, they have center Emmanuel Onyeama averaging 6.9, 4 rebounds, and he is their 5th starter and the presumptive starter at big man. Beyond those 5 and Onyeama, that's where NYU's depth is a little more questionable, but they have not needed to use that depth. They typically stay out of foul trouble. In Game 1, NYU only allowed 11 fouls in the contest, so never really had to worry about losing 1 or 2 of those high-powered scorers to the bench. And as a result, we're able to pound the Maroons' defense for 83 points. They've only given up 83 twice all year. They've only given up 80 twice all year to NYU last Friday and to Illinois Wesleyan, another home loss in the 5th game of the season. Illinois Wesleyan, of course, also now a top 3 team, but they did take a loss in their most recent conference matchup as they try to stay atop the CCIW. Maroons have tightened up their lineup recently. They only played 8 players outside of garbage time against both NYU and against Brandeis. They've been playing just Joe Barry, Eamon Kana, Thomas Karowski, Daniel Cochran, Jackson Pietrowski, and off the bench just Luke Smith, Noah Pitt, and Philip Lawrence. We'll see if that continues or if we see someone else break into the rotation. Perhaps a Martinelli gets back in, or another player that we do not know, trying to see what Mike McGrath and his assistants have done to adjust to this high-powered offense. Violets scoring nearly 20 more points a game than their opponents. Maroons had about 11 more per game. They average the fewest points allowed in all of in the entire conference, 62 a game. Violets not behind at 65. So the Maroons defense will have to figure something out. We'll see how they adjust to this offense, see if they play more men in the backcourt, see if they play less drop coverage. Both of those were ways that NYU took advantage of some tendencies. But the second time through the conference order, almost anything can happen with the way these teams have already seen one another. NYU currently doing an honors ceremony before the national anthem, and then we get this game underway. As teams have now lined up. NYU under Dave Klotsky has made the NCAA tournament both of the years he's been coaching. They are almost a lock to make it for the third straight year. And they have a very good chance of making it as the UAA's Pool A selection, meaning they would get a very high seed and an automatic bid, while the rest of the UAA squads have to fight for every inch. D3 Datacast gave Chicago a 78% chance of making the field, but if they can't get some late season wins, that chance will be close to zero. 14-4 already have exceeded their win total from last year's 13-12 squad, but with 7 more games to go, you want to get to at least 17 or 18 to feel good about your chances of making the dance. D3 with the biggest division, the most conferences, all that much harder to get into the tournament without winning your conference. Only 22 at-large spots, Pool C spots up for grabs, and right now Chicago holds one of those, but per NPI they are ranked 32nd, 15th among Pool C teams, but you've got to keep stacking wins, especially here in the month of February, and those wins mean all the much more when they come here on the road. National anthem is complete, and we are about ready to get this game underway before starting lineups. Maroons have started 6 different players this year: Joe Barry, Eamon Kana, Thomas Kurowski, Daniel Cochran, Jackson Piotrowski, and Noah Pitt received 1 start. We expect the first 5 to be the Maroon starters for this one. NYU started 6 unique players as well. And we are getting information about that right now. Maroons will go with Joe Barry, Eamon Kana, Thomas Kurowski, Daniel Cochran, and Jackson Piotrowski. They'll be met by Jack Stone, Zay Freeney, Tristan Howe, Brock Sesko, Emmanuel Onyuama. Maroons and Violets had these same starters when they played Game 1. Maroons are hoping that Game 2 looks nothing like the rematch. Again, Barry, Kana, Kurowski, Cochran, and Piotrowski for the Maroons, met by Jack Stone, Zay Freeney, Tristan Howe, Brock Sesko, and Emmanuel Onyuama for the Violets. Hordes of experience among both teams as the Maroons look to spring their 3rd straight upset on the road against a top 5 squad. That Hampton Sanders for NYU? No, he's just doing a little handshake before he heads back to the bench. Hampton Sanders, the star 6th man, and expect he'll take on a Sam Trunley role. Jackson Piotrowski at center circle. Emmanuel Onyuama out to meet him. He fist bumps the Maroon players, then walks onto the NYU logo. NYU nearly 200 years old. Maroons looking to beat him here. Ball in the air, tip controlled by the Maroons, and it's taken by Amon Kana to start off this game. Kana feeds to Barry, left wing. Barry, guarded closely by Freeney, gives right side Karowski back to Barry, top of the key. Barry shovels it right side Kana, snaps off a three, Kana, out and no good. Rebound Susko, NYU. So Kana, who had his career-high 23 against Brandeis, starts off this one with a miss. Zay Freeney shovels it right side to Onyeama. Onyeama flings inside to Susko, and now kicked out to Stone. Jack Stone driving, kicks out for Howe, and Howe will go around a screen from Susko, and now hand it behind his back to Freeney. Zay Freeney with 10 to shoot. Stone gets the ball, snaps off a three, no good. Rebound taken away by the Maroons, Joe Barry. Headed down the other way, Barry around Freeney. Barry now feeds it right, where it's taken by Kana. Kana shovels it back over to Barry. Barry wants to drive, kicks out to Piotrowski. Piotrowski gets Howe off balance, drives to the basket, and misses the layup. Cochran rebound for Chicago, kicks out to Karowski. And Karowski met by Susko. Sets back, shoots a quick threes to Karowski. Too short, no good. Rebound, Freeney, NYU. Freeney up the floor, driving all the way. Stripped to the ball by Karowski, but he gets it back. Freeney now kicks top of the key. Howe. Left side of Jack Stone. Scoreless game so far, a minute in. Stone left end, shoots a quick three. Jack Stone, that's no good. Karowski rebound for Chicago. Barry the other direction. Barry into the paint. Barry looks for a kick out, and he will shovel it out to Kana and fling to Karowski on the left wing. Still scoreless, a minute and a half in. Barry gets the feed on the left side, goes around the horn, gives to Kana, top of the key. Kana, left side feed into Barry. Barry driving, kicks out Cochran, snaps up three. Cochran, got it! Daniel Cochran starts the scoring for the Maroons. 3-zip as the freshman makes a play. Other end, Jack Stone manning point. The transfer from Carnegie Mellon. Stone around Karowski in the left end. Shovels it behind his back to Freeney. Top of the key on Uama. And behind the back to Susko. Brock Susko wants to go to work. Susko driving. Susko spinning. Shooting from 10 feet. And he buries it. Brock Susko puts NYU on the board. And he scored first in both games. 3-2 Maroons in front. 2 minutes in. Barry the other direction on the left wing. Barry. Bounce pass right side to Kana. Kana working on Stone. Feeds it left side to Piotrowski. And now Piotrowski will feed top of the key. Cochran snaps up another three. Cochran. And that's all the way in and out. Rebound Susko of NYU. Feeds up the floor. Jack Stone. Make that Freeney on the right end. Freeney around a screen. Freeney looks for the feed. And he is bumped. No foul. Susko gets the ball top of the key instead. Brock Susko worming his way through contact. Kicks it out now Stone. Right side to Howe. Howe wants to drive. Howe. Started the ball by Barry, but he's going to be bumped and fouled. As Joe Barry got in there and bumped Tristan Howe for his first foul, trying to go for a steal. And you can kind of see that adjustment kicking in. The Maroons are playing more aggressive on defense, trying to create takeaways and not let this NYU offense settle in. Ball goes to the left side. Stone steps up a wide open three. No good. Onyeama takes the round and puts it back up and in. Emmanuel Onyeama with the second chance point. It's 4-3 NYU, their first lead of the game. 3 minutes in. Barry goes past Freeney. Barry has to step back out onto the NYU logo. Feeds right side to Karowski. And the left side to Kana. Kana 16 to shoot. Amon Kana throws left to Piotrowski. And Piotrowski feeds there to Cochran. He fakes a three. Now shovels it behind his back to Kana. Kana driving in. Kicks out to Piotrowski. He shoots a 30-footer. Too strong. No good. Rebound is going to be tracked down by Susko. He drives to the floor. Brock Susko tries to Euro step into the lane and gets it to go in a foul. Brock Susko used his physicality for his third and fourth points. The foul on Amon Kana. And he will have a chance at a three-point play early on in this one. Hampton Sanders checks in for NYU, replacing Tristan Howe. Probably going to be the best sixth man in the UAA when it's all said and done. Brock Susko, a 78% free throw shooter, at the line here for NYU to make it a 7-3 ball game. His shot is short and no good. Rebound tracked down by the Maroons' Jackson Piotrowski and given it up to Barry against some light pressure from Hampton Sanders. Joe Barry works across the timeline. Barry looking left, feeds it left to Kana. Kana, ball low to the ground on Stone. Kana shovels it left side to Karowski. Snaps up a quick three. Karowski out of his reach, but Cochran gets it back, puts it back up and in. Daniel Cochran, as Karowski couldn't connect, but Daniel Cochran cleaned it up. 5 for the freshman, 6-5, with 16 to play first half. Other end, Hampton Sanders feeds inside to Onyeama. Onyeama kicks back out to Sanders. Sanders Not given space by Berry. Loses the ball, but it was poked out by Berry. They'll say it stayed with NYU. 16 to shoot. As Noah Pitt's going to check in, replacing Jackson Pietrowski. 2 fouls on the Maroons so far. Susko inbounds to Freeney. 15 to shoot. Freeney working on Kurowski. Kurowski trying to poke at the ball again. Sanders gets the ball left wing, giving some space. Sanders driving on Berry. Sanders all the way to the hoop. While falling backwards, he missed the shot. Rebound taken by Kurowski. Fed up court to Berry. Berry wants to drive on Stone. Berry all the way to the hoop. Kicks it back out now. And it's going to Pitt at the top of the key. 4.5 gone in the first half. 6-5 NYU. Kanaa around a screen. Shovels behind his back to Kurowski. 14 to shoot for Kurowski. He'll be forced out of a spot by Sanders. Gives it behind his back to Berry. Berry, 8 to shoot. Berry, backing down Sanders. Berry driving in. Berry spinning, shooting, off the bank and in! Joe Berry with his first 2 of the game gives the Maroons a lead, 7-6. With 15 to go first quarter. Hampton Sanders the other direction. Shovels it out there to Freeney. Zay Freeney, holding, driving right on Kurowski. Freeney toward the paint, lays it up and in. Zay Freeney with a powerful dribble drive gives NYU the lead back 8-7. Other end, it is Joe Berry for the next Maroon possession. Maroons hanging tough with the Violets so far. Other end, Kurowski. He fakes a 3 now, drives on Freeney. Spins back around, kicks it to Pitt. He'll shoot a 3. Pitt, got it! Noah Pitt, the big man, shooting the 3 ball well so far. 10-8 Maroons back in front here in the Big Apple. Other end, Hampton Sanders, manning point. Sanders kicks it right side to Onyeama. Onyeama looks for a kick out, goes to Brock Susko. Driving Susko, spinning around, shoots from mid-range and buries it. 6 for Brock Susko. He started game 1 hot. He started game 2 hot. 10-10 with 14 to go first half. Other end, Joe Berry. Berry throws it left to Kanaa. He was forced off his spot by Stone. Now the ball goes right side to Kanaa, but it's too strong, and it was tipped out there by Hampton Sanders. NYU will sub a couple new players in. Those are Chuma Oyigbo. Tristan Howe comes back in alongside Brian Musako. Maroons will bring in Philip Lawrence and Luke Smith to replace to replace Kanaa and Cochran. Berry inbounds to Smith. 16 to shoot. Berry 1-on-1 with Howe. Smith backing Howe down. Smith turns, tries to find a force-up. Got it, Luke Smith! As it's his turn to play that physical brand of basketball. Maroons back in front, 12-10. Top of the key, Howe. Tristan Howe feeds right side. Susko around a screen. Susko fakes a 3. Now kicks back over to Sanders. 17 to shoot for Hampton Sanders. Sanders holding on the right wing. Sanders backing down Berry. Sanders around a screen. Can't find space. Now goes on Kurowski. Forces the ball out there to Oyigbo, and a foul is going to be called. No, he stepped on the baseline. Hampton Sanders did. I thought he might have been touching the cylinder, but instead, the Maroons will be getting the ball back. Hampton Sanders with the turnover. It's 12-10. Maroons in front. Noah Pitt to inbound. He goes to Lawrence, who will have his first touch of this game. Lawrence across the NYU logo. He's met by Josh Menard. Feeds right side to Kurowski. Kurowski works top of the key. Feeds left side to Smith. Kicks over to Lawrence on the left wing. Lawrence, 13 to shoot. Kicks back over to top of the key. Pitt. Right side feed to Berry. He's forced off his spot by Sanders. Berry now wants to worm his way inside. Berry looks for a desperation kick out. Goes to Pitt. Launches a 3. Noah Pitt. Got it! That's 6 points for Noah Pitt. Another 3-pointer for a big man. It's 15-10. Maroons in front. Sanders feeds top of the key. Tristan Howe. Left side wing goes to Menard. Menard working around top of the key. Menard pushes Kurowski out of a spot. Now gives the right side to Sanders. Driving in on Smith. Sanders under the basket. Forces one up. No good. Rebound tipped into the hands of Musako for NYU. Kicks all the way out. And it's Tristan Howe who feeds top of the key. Menard for a new possession. Menard around a screen. Menard driving all the way to the basket. Forces one up, but it's no good. As he badly misjudged the spot on that. Lawrence the rebound for U Chicago. Lawrence now goes the other way. Maroons up by 5, 15-10. Top of the key goes to Pitt, who's already made 2 3-pointers today. Berry around a screen from Pitt. Berry, right side, flanks top of the key. Smith. He'll try a 3. Luke Smith. That's way too strong and no good. Rebound tracked down by Menard, but he stepped out of bounds. It'll go to U Chicago. As Pitt was forced out of there by Sanders, and then Menard tried to save it, but stepped on the baseline while touching the ball. You can't do that. It'll be Maroons ball, 15-10. 12:05 to play first half. The Maroons have started hot on the road once again. Eamon Kanata inbound. He re-enters the game. Goes to top of the key now. Pitt feeds right side to Lawrence. Ben chasing in the game now. Lawrence kicks right side to Smith. And into the right corner to Kanata. 13 to shoot for Eamon Kanata. Works around a screen. Now Kanata flings top of the key to Pitt. Pitt will launch it inside to Smith. Trying to back his man down. Smith forces one up. And it is good. We'll get a foul that will... I think they called a floor foul. They did. They called a floor foul on Tristan Howe. That is his first. It'll be Maroons ball. Kanata inbounds to Pitt. Noah Pitt works right side. Steps back from 16 feet. Pitt, it's too short. Smith rebound, puts it back up. No good. Smith gets it again. Puts it back up. And that time it's in. Luke Smith. Actually just never gave up. It's a 7-point Maroon lead. 17-10. 11.5 to go. Sanders forced off his spot by Lawrence. Drives anyway. Sanders off the window and good. Hampton Sanders with his first two of the ball game. 17-12. Philip Lawrence the other direction. Maroons looking for another answer. They're up by 5. Lawrence bounce pass right side to Kanata. Kanata going in on Musako. Kicks out left side Lawrence. Lawrence around Sanders. Now goes left side to Smith. Back to Lawrence. 13 to shoot. Lawrence inside. Kicks to the corner. Chasin. Launches the 3-bend. Chasin. That's no good. Rebound tapped by Pitt, and then he's fouled. Noah Pitt will draw the contact on Chuma Oyigbo. That'll be his first. And let's see. We have Emmanuel Onyeama entering the game for NYU. Lawrence to inbound. Lawrence lobbed it out to Kanata. A new shot clock for the Maroons. 11 to play here in the first half. Maroons nursing a 5-point lead. Lawrence gets the ball left wing from Pitt. Goes around a screen from Pitt. Now got a lot of space to work. Lawrence one of the free throw line. Got it! Philip Lawrence. From mid-range puts the Maroons back up by 7. 19-12 the score. Josh Menard will call timeout, and NYU again down early to these Maroons who just cannot be stopped on the road. So far this season, they are on top early, 19-12. We'll take a short break. Be back soon on Graham Sportscasting Channel. Out of the timeout, the Maroons will go with Eamon Kanata, Thomas Karowski, Philip Lawrence, Daniel Cochran, and Jackson Pietrowski. They'll be met by Emmanuel Onyeama, Josh Menard, Zay Freeney, Tristan Howe, and Jack Stone as NYU down early here at home. Tristan Howe, the inbound, goes to Freeney. 24 on the shot clock. Feeds right side of Smith. Poked at, and Stone will have to recover it quickly as he'll lose a lot of shot clock time to that one. Jack Stone accelerates, kicks right side to Freeney. Freeney forces one into Onyeama. 11 to shoot for Onyeama. Forced off his spot, but he backs down Cochran. Takes it in, hooks it up, and misses it. Rebound tapped into the hands of Cochran for U Chicago. Another great stand by the freshman. Other end, Philip Lawrence. Lawrence holding on the NYU logo. Feeds right side to Kanata. Back over to Lawrence at the top of the key. Lawrence looks left, goes to Karowski. Karowski kicked a screen from Pietrowski left. Karowski drives, kicks over to Pietrowski. He will get a lot of space. Take a quick three. Pietrowski, no good. Rebound taken by Freeney. He works up the floor. Zay Freeney. Freeney knocks over Kurowski, forces one up, and it's no good. A foul is going to be called. It'll be a blocking foul against Thomas Kurowski, as he just could not stand the acceleration from Zay Freeney and took a foul. Third on the Maroons, first on Kurowski. 9:53 to go. Kurowski will exit. Barry will enter. Now Kurowski will go back on the floor, and they'll actually replace him with Lawrence. NYU to inbound. A new shot clock. And they will give it up to Onyeama. Behind the back, quick three put up by Stone. That's no good. Rebound tracked down by Howe. He'll try to force one up over Piotrowski, and he will get it. Tristan Howe, his first two of the game, makes it 19-14. Other end, Joe Barry. Facing down Freeney, feeds left side to Kurowski, and he's on Susko, who's back into the game for NYU. Feeds left side to Kana. Kana forced off his spot now by Stone. Kicks it right side to Piotrowski, 10 to shoot. Kurowski have to drive on Susko. Kurowski spinning, shooting from deep mid-range. Got it! Thomas Kurowski, his first two of the game in style. Other direction goes Jack Stone. Maroons got to get set. Stone inside, poked away, taken by Kurowski. It was Piotrowski on the steal. Other end, Kurowski shoveled it into Barry in the fast break, and Barry lays it in. It's a 9-point Maroon lead, 23-14. Under 9 to play in the first half. Maroons up big. Jack Stone the other way for NYU. Stone feeds left side to Freeney. Freeney gets a screen from Onyeama. Drives right on Barry. Freeney all the way to the hoop, and he slams it in with one hand. Zay Freeney put Barry on a poster and makes it a 7-point game again, 23-16. As NYU finds their answer. Barry across the timeline the other way. 8.5 to play first half. Maroons by 7. Ball fed left side to Cochran. Cochran facing down Howe. Feeds top of the key Piotrowski. Left side to Barry. Barry around a screen. Barry steps back on Onyeama. Feeds left side to Cochran, who goes on Freeney. Feeds inside to Piotrowski. Piotrowski with 6 to shoot. Piotrowski will try to take it in. Spins. Tries to hook one up and can't get it to go. It's too strong. Onyeama pulls down the rebound for NYU, who trails by 7. Other direction, Susko feeds top of the key Onyeama. And now left side to Freeney. 8 minutes to play in the first half. Freeney around a couple screens. Drop coverage by Cochran. Freeney forces one up, and it's no good. Onyeama tips the rebound into the hands of Howe, who finds a kick out. Now it's a 3 for Freeney, and it's off the mark. Rebound, Kana, Chicago. Kana the other direction. Kana tries to find a streak in Kurowski. He'll step back out instead. Give it up to Barry. Shoots a through quick three. Barry. Air ball. Rebound tipped into the hands of Howe for NYU. They will slow it down. Zay Freeney gets the ball. 23-16, 7.5 to play here in the first half. Right side feed goes to Howe. Gives it up to Stone. Stone right end. Stone into the lane. Stone tries to force it up for mid-range. Got it. Jack Stone, his first two of the game. He only had 1 point against Wash U. He finally breaks his cold spell with a bucket. 5-point game, 23-18. Left side ball poked away from Barry by Stone, and he goes over the back, but they will call a foul on Stone before he does so. First foul on Jack Stone, the third on the Violets. 7:08 to play. And we'll see if any subs happen. They will send Tristan Howe to the bench and replace him with Brock Susko. Make that Sanders, not Susko. Inbound from Kana goes to Barry, top of the key. Barry, holding, shovels it inside to Piotrowski. They clear the lane for Cochran. Cochran driving. Cochran kicks out to Piotrowski. He shoots a quick three. Piotrowski buries it. Jackson Piotrowski, another big man three. 26-18, Maroons in front. Other end, Hampton Sanders takes it down the floor at Manning Point. Maroons up by 8. Shovels top of the key to Onyeama. Onyeama behind the back to Freeney. Freeney driving, throws into Onyeama. Bumped and no good. No foul called either. Kana the rebound for Chicago. Takes it the other way. Eamon Kana flings it left side to Cochran. Given space by Onyeama. Back to Kana. Kana will drive inside on Freeney. Look to kick it out to Kurowski, who fakes a 3. Now sets up, shoots an actual 3. Kurowski knocked backwards. No foul. And the rebound taken by Onyeama, who then flings it up the floor to Stone. Stone gives it to Freeney. Left side to Sanders. Maroons up by 8. 6 to play. Sanders driving on Barry. Sanders takes it to Onyeama for a wide open slam. Onyeama, as Sanders found the extra pass for the third and fourth points for Emmanuel Onyeama. 6-point game. 26-20. Barry left wing will force Sanders off his spot. Now fling right side to Kurowski. And Kurowski shovels it back left to Barry. Barry kicks there to Cochran. Launches a quick three. Cochran. That's too strong. No good. Rebound fought for and taken by Susko of NYU. Brock Susko down the floor. Maroons get back on defense. Susko flings it left side to Freeney. Back over to Susko. Susko lobs one up to Onyeama, who has an easy layup as Kurowski seated position trying to go for the steal, and Onyeama's up to 6 points. 26-22, 5.5 to go, first half. Maroons trying to stay in front here on the road. Joe Barry holding. Gets to a releasing Kurowski, who is then fouled by Jack Stone. That'll be 2 on Jack Stone, the first team All-UAA player last year at Carnegie Mellon. 26-22 the score. Maroons have led for most of the game. Eamon Kanata inbound. Kurowski, Pitt, Smith, and one more on the floor. That one more is Barry, who gets the ball here. Joe Barry on the NYU logo, backing down Hampton Sanders. Feeds inside to Smith. Feeds to Barry. Barry driving over the basket. Barry forcing one up and got it. Joe Barry with 6 points. 28-22. Maroons still in front. Hampton Sanders the other way with 5 to go in the first half. Sanders still with the ball. Trying to take a screen from Onyeama. Now takes it inside himself. Sanders driving all the way to the basket and lays it in. Hampton Sanders found a lane and made it a 4-point game again. Sanders with 4. 28-24. Barry the other direction. Stops at the 3-point line. Now gives it back out to Barry from Pitt. Feeds left side to Kanata. Back to Barry. 18 to shoot for Joe Barry. The possession goes through him. Barry feeds Kurowski top of the key. Kurowski can't find anyone. 10 to shoot. Feeds right side to Kanata. Pushed off his spot. Flings it cross court. It ends up in the hands of Kurowski, who shoves out to Pitt. Pitt will shoot from mid-range and miss it. Rebound taken away by NYU's Chuma Oyigbo. Other direction goes to Stone. Susko gets the ball. Drives inside. Flings extra pass. No good for Howe. Rebound Pitt, U Chicago. Pitt has the ball forced away, and Kanata saves it somehow. Kanata will now retreat to the top of the key. Fling it left side to Kurowski. 4 to play, first half. Maroons up by 4. Other direction, Smith. Smith gives it up to Kanata. Kanata behind the back to Kurowski. 13 to shoot for Thomas Kurowski. Kurowski working left. Kurowski trying to chest Sanders inside. Kurowski spinning. Kicks out to Barry. Snaps up a quick 3. Barry. That's no good. Rebound going to be tracked down by Oyigbo for NYU. 28-24. 3:40 to go. Ball poked at and out of bounds. It'll go to the Maroons, as it was Hampton Sanders who just turned the ball over and threw it out of bounds. And that's a good time as ever for a Maroon timeout. They lead at 28-24. 3:39 to play, first half. We'll take a short break on Graham Sportscasting Channel. Score update from around the UAA. Brandeis ahead of WashU by a couple points, in a similar position to where U Chicago is right now. Maroons 28, Violets 24. Maroons with the ball here in the Big Apple. Maroons looking for yet another top 5 win. They already did it to WashU. They did it to Emory. Can they do it here to another UAA opponent? Oyigbo, Howe, Freeney, Onyeama, and Sanders on the floor for NYU. Maroons will go with Lawrence, Pitt, Kurowski, and 2 others, with Lawrence getting the ball off the inbound at man point. Philip Lawrence. Lawrence goes past Sanders. Lawrence getting it out to Kurowski at the top of the key. Kurowski given space by Oyigbo. Feeds right side to Barry. Joe Barry flings left side to Pitt. He'll try another 3. Noah Pitt. That's no good. Rebound tipped by Smith into the air, taken away by Sanders of NYU. 4-point game, Sanders feeds it left side to Freeney. Freeney steps back, shoots a quick three. Zay Freeney buries it. Zay Freeney with 7 points. A 4-year starter for this Violet squad cuts it to a 1-point game. The closest NYU's been in a while. Lawrence the other direction. Philip Lawrence looks to feed left side to Kurowski. Kurowski with under 3 to play. Left side to Barry. Gets past his man. Barry snaps up a quick three. Barry got it! Joe Barry makes it a 4-point game again. He's got 9 points. Other direction. Taken by Sanders. Feeds inside to Howe. Now off the screen to Freeney. 2.5 to play. Zay Freeney will kick it out and get it back. Freeney 12 to shoot. Trying to go around the screen from Anyuam, but Smith stays with him. Freeney shovels it out, taken by Kurowski. His great defense was put on by the Maroons with a double team. Ball fed up the floor to Smith. Cross court, poked out and taken away by the Violets. Other end, Freeney. Freeney trying to Euro step into the lane, and he misses the shot. Rebound taken by Smith of U Chicago. Forces up the floor to Kurowski. They got numbers if they hurry. Kurowski trying to force one inside, and a foul is going to be called. Emmanuel Anyam was there to contest Kurowski for the 5th team foul on NYU. It was Kurowski on the last made 3, not Barry, so he will be going to the line for his 5th and 6th points. And to give the Maroons a 6-point edge if it can hit them both. Kurowski settles, shoots, and sinks it. 6 points for the senior from Niles, Michigan, who on the year is shooting 84% from the free throw line. One of U Chicago's all-time top free throw shooters. Although it feels like whenever I say that, he ends up missing the next one. 2:05 to play. Maroons up 5. Kurowski's second shot is good. 7 points for Kurowski. 33-27. Sanders not pressured, so will let it bounce for a second before picking it up with 2 to go here in the first half. Maroons looking to avoid a late first half run by these Violets. Sanders around a screen. Sanders all the way to the hoop, forced out of bounds. It will stay with the Violets as Joe Barry was sticking with Sanders all the way and prevented his full drive to the basket. So Joe Barry, good defense again. 19 to shoot for the Violets. Sanders will inbound. Sanders looks to get it over to Anyuama and does. Kicks cross-court to Freeney. Shortened shot clock. 14 to shoot. Feeds inside to Howe, who's forced off his spot by Pitts. Howe wants to drive inside. Howe poked out all the way. Shoots from mid-range. No good. Anyuama with the rebound for NYU. Shoots to Freeney. Here's a 3. No. Rebound can U Chicago, who are playing just great defense right now. Kurowski the other direction. Snaps with a deep 3. Kurowski. That's rolls in and out. Rebound taken by Oyigbo of NYU. Other end, forced up the floor. No one accounted for Freeney, and he lays it up and in. Not in. What am I saying? He kicks it out instead. Howe's going to try one. He's going to miss, but he's going to get fouled by Noah Pitt. As Freeney hit the rim as he was passing the ball out, it looked like the ball might have been just going up there straight up, but instead Freeney took a kick out and got rewarded with a foul. Tristan Howe for 2 free throws. This year he is shooting 69% on them. 2 hits would make it a 4-point game. That was the 4th team foul on the Maroons. First shot by Howe is good. Tristan Howe with 3 points today. He scored 19 in NYU's Game 1 victory. Susko enters, replacing Chuma Oyigbo. Maroons looking to stay in front heading into the locker room against another top 5 opponent on the road. Howe bounces, settles, shoots, and scores. 4-point game, 4 for Tristan Howe. 33-29, Maroons still in front. Barry the other direction, getting help from Pitt down the floor. Now will feed it left side to Kana. Eamon Kana staring down Sanders. Tries to feed inside, goes to Cochran, pushes off his spot Cochran. He's back to Kana, all the way to the basket. Kana lays it up and in. And a foul as Eamon Kana was fouled by Tristan Howe. That's his first 2 points of this game, and Tristan Howell's got 2 fouls. That's 6 on NYU. Eamon Kana just wormed his way through Howe and Sanders. Howe fouled him, and Kana just got all the way to the basket with a beautiful dribble drive, and his free throw is good, giving the Maroons a 7-point edge. 36-29 with a minute flat to go here in the first half. Maroons in front on top of third-ranked NYU. Sanders around a screen. Sanders steps back, and now we'll work it inside Sanders all the way to the hoop. He's fouled, and it goes in. Hampton Sanders gets the and one right back. He's got 6 points. The foul against Noah Pitt, his second. Sanders did the same thing that Kana just did, finding a hole between Pitt and Kana, and he'll have a chance at a 3-point play here. Sanders at the line this year, 91%. He has not made the line in 2 games, though. Could be rusty. 47.2 to go in the first half. Maroons up 5, could be 4 with this shot. Sanders, count it. 7 points for Hampton Sanders, 36-32 the score. Joe Barry point the other way. Getting around Pitt. 40 seconds to go. Barry feeds left side to Kana. Kana working with it. Flings it inside to Pitt. And Noah Pitt isolated now. He's given space. Shoots from 20 feet. Pitt well short and no good. Rebound taken away by Freeney. Freeney rushes the floor, then settle down on the left wing. Shot clock turned off. 22 seconds. Sanders and the Violets will hold for a last shot. Hampton Sanders. 17 seconds. Sanders will work on to Karowski now as they switch off. 11 seconds. 10 seconds. Susko provides Sanders a screen. Sanders still holding the ball with 6 seconds. Sanders now drives, steps back, forced off his foot by Karowski. Poked at Susko. Will throw up a prayer 3. Susko. No good, in and out as the half comes to an end with the Maroons in front of another top 5 opponent. They lead NYU 36-32 here in the Big Apple. We'll be back with first half stats and other UAA scores on Graham Sportscasting Channel. Welcome back to Chicago Basketball on Graham Sportscasting Channel. We're at the break. The Maroons hold a 36-32 edge over host New York University, the number 3 team in D3. Maroons 9-0 on the road this year, and I don't know how they're doing it, but they might just go to 10-0 with the way they're playing right now. NYU in game 1 of this 2-game season series started the first half 5 for 9 from beyond the arc. This game, they are just 1 for 7, as the Maroons have done a good job taking away all their easy looks, forcing them into much tougher shots than usual, and NYU has not been able to convert a lot of the semi-open looks that they have gotten, if they have gotten them. Maroons have limited the number of turnovers. They've only turned the ball over once. That was the interception by Barry's pass right after their own turnover, so even then it was just an exchange of turnovers. Maroons average 10.5 turnovers a game this year. They have done a good job keeping those down against an aggressive NYU defense. NYU shooting the ball a little bit better, 46% to 41%. Maroons have taken 4 more shots, however, by virtue of those limited amount of turnovers. And the Maroons have been defined by the big guy 3, as they have 4 out of their 5 threes made by players 6'6" or taller. Pietrowski, Cochran, and Pitt are all on the board in that regard. We will get around the UAA. Brandeis up on Wash U. They are the host in that one, 42 to 33. Toby Harris did not play in game 1 between Chicago and Brandeis. He had 20 points in the first half, making up for lost time, and he has been a big difference in this Brandeis squad as they look to get an upset. Rochester up on Case Western, 46 to 41. Lots of fireworks in that game. They attempted 37 combined threes in the first half, and Emory taking care of business against Carnegie Mellon, 46 to 30. Emory out-rebounding the Tartans 25 to 17. We'll be back with second half action shortly on Graham Sportscasting Channel. Welcome back to U Chicago Basketball on Graham Sportscasting Channel, where at the break, the Maroons are 20 minutes away from yet another upset road win as they lead the NYU Violets 36-32 here in the Big Apple. Thomas Kurowski leads all Maroons with 7 points, followed by Berry and Pitt with 6 each. Freeney, Sanders with 7 each for NYU, followed up by Sesko and Anyuam with 6. All of their points have come from their big 6 players, their 5 starters, and Hampton Sanders. We'll see if that changes in the second half. 20 minutes to go. Berry, Knaw, Kurowski, Cochran, and Pietrowski will start the second half for the Maroons. NYU will start with ball as Brock Sesko, Jack Stone, Zay Freeney, Emmanuel Anyuama, and Tristan Howe on the floor for the Violets. Inbound goes to Stone. Let's play some more basketball. Stone, guarded by Kurowski in the left wing, shovels it inside to Howe, who feeds it behind his back to Freeney. Working his way inside Freeney. Steps back out to the top of the key now. 18 to shoot for Freeney. Feeds inside to Howe. Wants to back down Berry. Howe working his way inside. Forcing one up from 10 feet, and it's an air ball. Rebound on the ground and poked at, taken away by the Maroons. Daniel Cochran. So a good defensive stand to start this second half. Looked like they may have wanted to go inside some more, but the Maroons playing stout there as well. Berry with the ball, 16 to shoot. Not a lot of action so far. Feeds left side to Kurowski. Shovels it. Now he keeps it. Kurowski goes into the lane. Kurowski, reverse layup. No. Rebound taken by Howe of NYU. Howe up the floor. Feeds Sesko on the fast break. Brock Sesko works his way inside. Shovels it back out to Freeney. Inside to Anyama. Shovel pass behind the back to Freeney. Freeney trying to work his way into out of a double team. Howe feeds inside Anyama. Pushed off his spot by Pietrowski. Wants to back him down. Anyama hooks one up, and it's too short. No good. Rebound Pietrowski, U Chicago. Another stop for this Maroon defense. Gives it up to Barrett at the top of the key. Feeds left side to Pietrowski. Pietrowski spins around, got space to operate. Now shovels that right into the corner where it's taken by Knaw. Knaw driving inside. Kicks over to Cochran. Cochran now isolated. 13 to shoot. Kicks out to Pietrowski. Fakes a 3. Now drives inside on Anyuama. Shovels behind the back to Knaw. Knaw working his way out. Gives to Cochran. Cochran inside. Cochran racing. Spinning. Cochran hooking one up, and it can't go. Rebound taken Howe. Howe breaks out of the pile, goes away, out of the hands of Freeney, into the hands of Joe Barrett for U Chicago. Great away, Kurowski slams it down with one hand. Thomas Kurowski on the slam on the fast break. The first point of the half. Maroons 32, Violets. Maroons up 38-32. 18 to go, second half. Tristan Howe given space, drives on Berry. Howe kicks out now where it's taken by Sesko, around a couple screens, launches a 3. Sesko got it. Brock Sesko with the answer off that ball screen defense, and it's a 3-point game, 38-35. Other end, Joe Berry works across the timeline behind a screen from Cochran. Berry pushed off his spot by Freeney. Now kicks it out left side to Pietrowski to Kurowski. Driving again, Kurowski under the basket, reverse layup. Got it. Thomas Kurowski with double digits now. 11 points for the senior. 40-35. Freeney feeds it right side to Sesko. Back top of the key, Howe. Howe behind the back to Freeney, with a lane inside, kicks out to Howe. Howe driving, Howe forcing one up, blocked by Cochran and taken by Berry. Daniel Cochran on the block shot, other end, Kurowski. Kurowski stops, feeds inside to Cochran. They give him a chance to work on the other end. On Anyuama, Kurowski, Cochran inside, and he kicks it out. He can't find space, goes to Berry. Maroons up by 5. Kurowski the other way. Kurowski tries to get past his man. Euro step into the lane, but a foul's going to be called. That will go against Zay Freeney, who was guarding Kurowski. That is his first. And the first on NYU. 17 to go in the second half. 40-35. Maroons still in front. They have found an answer to everything NYU's done, as the adjustments look to be net neutral. Kurowski to inbound. Kurowski looks for releasing Knaw. Can't find it. Now dribbles it inside of Pietrowski. Under the basket, lays it up, and in Pietrowski. With the assist from Kurowski, it's 5 points for Pietrowski. 42-35. Maroons in front. Other end, Hampton Sanders. Sanders kicks left side to Sesko. Snaps up a 3. Sesko. Too short, no good. Kurowski brings down the rebound for U Chicago, who lead by 7. Other end, Berry manning point. Berry on Sesko. Feeds left side to Knaw. Kanaa works top of the key, feeds right side to Barry, behind a screen from Cochran. Barry driving on Stone. Barry spins around now, forced off his spot, shoots from mid-range. Barry, that goes in! Off the rim, Joe Barry, 11 points. 9-point game, timeout called by NYU as the Maroons explode out of the locker room, and they have taken a 9-point lead here in New York. With 16:25 to go, it's 44-35, Maroons in front. Off the deuce from Joe Barry, who's got 8 points. Kurowski and Barry taking the game over in the paint. You love to see that as they have been able to counter. You saw in the first half of game one that Dave Klotsky may have adjusted to try to go inside more, go to the basket, out of the locker room, and it worked. This time, they have not been able to find anything inside. They have just been rejected by all these Maroons playing great half-court defense. And Klotsky's going to have to adjust again. Maroons up 44-35. Looking to maintain their perfect record on the road. Get their first win in a ranked-on-ranked matchup in 9 years. And get another critical win for the UAA title race and for the NCAA tournament race. They've got 16 and a half minutes to do that. Barry, Kanaa, Kurowski, Cochran, Piotrowski, the 5 on the floor for the Maroons. Maroons already have 2 wins over Wash U and Emory, the other members of the top of the UAA, alongside these two on the road. Can they make it 3 for 3? Hampton Sanders, Tristan Howe, Chuma Oyigbo, and 2 others on the floor for NYU. Thomas Kurowski will head to the backcourt to make sure that Sanders will have to get the ball immediately instead of letting it roll. Sanders works up the floor against Kurowski. Sanders kicks it there to Howe. Tristan Howe holding, looking for a feed, goes out to Freeney. Freeney with a head of steam toward the basket, has to step back out. Gives it up to Sanders, 15 to shoot. Right side to Sanders. Sanders backing down Kanaa. Sanders gives it up. No, he falls down, but a foul is going to be called as they'll say that he may have been tripped by Jackson Piotrowski. The first on him, and it'll give a new shot clock to these Violets. 16:04 to play. Maroons 44 and Violets 35. Inbound coming from Sanders. Sanders kicks. No look. Still looking. Now lobs it out to Stone. Make that Howe. Howe will kick it out now to Freeney. Freeney driving right on Cochran. Freeney going right. Freeney toward the basket. Kicks out. Poked at and taken away by the Maroons. Taken by Eamon Kanaa. And then he's forced off his spot by Sanders. But another steal for the Maroons, who lead by 9. Top of the key, Barry with the ball. Under 16 to play, second half. Maroons by 9. Barry feeds it right to Kurowski. 14 to shoot for Kurowski. Goes around a Cochran screen. Kurowski puts the ball on the ground. Gives it right side. Kicks it out to Barry. He fakes a 3-and-out drives. Barry from mid-range floats one up, and it's no good. Too strong. Rebound fought for, taken over by Susko of NYU. Susko the other direction. Met by Kurowski. Gives up to Sanders. Back to Susko. Launches a quick 3. Susko. Got it. Brock Susko, 12 points. Right over the head of Kurowski. 44-38. Violets edge closer. Barry Manning point the other way. 15 to play. Second half. Maroons by 6. Kurowski the ball left side. Gives right side to Barry. He'll fling it over there to Cochran. Daniel Cochran one-on-one with Howe. And he'll have to work his way out of it. 10 to shoot. Piotrowski now with the ball. Rolling left. Behind the back to Kanaa with a head of steam. Kurowski with into the lane. Fouled. Thomas Kurowski fouled. That'll be 3 against Tristan Howe. The transfer from Virginia, who had a tough time with foul trouble when he got to NYU, has racked up his 3rd foul. It'll be 2 shots for Thomas Kurowski, looking to make it an 8-point game. Kurowski with 11 points today. He's the scoring leader for the Maroons. His first shot is perfect, and he is 3 for 3 at the line today. 12 for Kurowski. Onyema enters for NYU, replacing Tristan Howe. And the Maroons will check in Smith and Pitt, replacing Cochran and Pietrowski. Kurowski now giving the ball for a second shot. Tenses, bounces, shoots, and scores after a friendly roll. 13 for Kurowski, 46-38 the score. Other end, Hampton Sanders down the floor, met by Kurowski. Sanders going around. Sanders shovels it out to Susko with a head of steam. Susko at mid-range, kicks out to Sanders. He'll drive. Oyigbo inside. Oyigbo with the lay-in. The first two for Chuma Oyigbo. Back to a 6-point game, 46-40. Other end, Barry. Barry gets past Sanders all the way to the basket. Barry drives, lays it in, misses. Rebound poked out of bounds by Luke Smith, but it'll stay with the Maroons. As he was fighting with Freeney for it, and Barry almost went coast to coast, but couldn't finish. It's still the Maroons' ball, though. He'll be inbounding here. Barry puts it on the ground and gives it up to Pitt. Right side feed to Kurowski. Kurowski around a screen from Pitt. Kurowski forced back at the free throw line. Bull put on the ground, but he'll recover. Give it behind his back to Kanah. Him to shoot. Feeds right side back to Kanah. Fakes a three. Now drives right Kanah into the lane on Sanders. Kanah spinning around, kicks out to Smith. 4 to shoot for Smith. Smith going to the free throw line, kicking out, spinning around, shooting from the free throw line. No good. Rebound tracked down by NYU's Brock Susko. Susko the other direction. Shoots a quick three over the head of Kurowski. That's off the mark and no good. Rebound taken by Sanders of NYU, though. Sanders tracked the long rebound. Kicks it out to Freeney for three. That's no good. Rebound right back to Freeney, though. Another long rebound. Another shot coming up for NYU. That's no good. Rebound tapped by Onyema into the hands of Pitt for U Chicago, but a foul is going to be called. They'll say that Onyema stepped in the line, and the rebound parade is over. The Maroons survive that possession. Philip Lawrence into the game, replacing Eamon Kanah. Pietrowski in, Pitt out. 46-40 with 13.5 to go. The Maroons still in front. They have not trailed for a while. Lawrence manning point the other way on Sanders. Lawrence feeds it left side to Barry. Joe Barry. Right side to Kurowski. Kurowski shovels it into the corner for Pietrowski. He'll try to drive. Pietrowski toward the basket. Susko lobs it up onto Kurowski's hands. 10 to shoot for Kurowski. Goes around the screen from Smith. Kurowski steps back. Kurowski. 5 to shoot for Kurowski. Shoots a quick three. Kurowski. That's off the mark. Rebound Susko NYU. Running up the floor. Feeds on the fast break to Onyema. Extra pass goes to Freeney. He's blocked and fouled by Jackson Pietrowski. Second on the senior as Onyema passed up what was probably an easy layup, anticipating Kurowski behind him. Threw the extra pass to Zay Freeney, and Freeney took the contact. Under 13 to play, second half. Maroons still leading by 6. Freeney with a chance to cut into it at the line here. 2 shots coming for him. Freeney, first, is no good off the front iron and did not get the roll he wanted. Brock Susko will exit for NYU, replaced by Chuma Oyigbo. Maroons will put Eamon Kanah back into the game. And Freeney will take a second free throw, and that one is no good as well. Smith the rebound for U Chicago. Zay Freeney 0 for 2 from the line today. Other end, Philip Lawrence will shovel it right side to Kurowski, but it goes off his hands and out of bounds, turning it over. That was Barry, not Kurowski, who just had it go right through his hands for the Maroons' second turnover of the day. And it'll be NYU ball. Sanders the other direction. Off the inbound from Onyema. Make that Musako. Other end. Musako screens for Sanders. Feet goes in, right side Sanders, all the way to the basket. No good, but a foul's called. Philip Lawrence sends Sanders to the line. Lawrence's first foul, the third on the Maroons. As Lawrence just took it all the way in, and even though Sanders didn't get the roll he wanted on the layup, he got 2 shots. Sanders bounces once. Stares at the basket like it's his mortal enemy and now shoots and scores. 8 for Hampton Sanders. 5-point game with 12.5 to go. Now Sanders giving the ball again. No subs for either team. Sanders shoots a second and sinks it to make it A 4-point game, 46-42. Lawrence met in the backcourt by Sanders. He will get a couple of screens from Pietrowski and take it across the timeline. Lawrence feeds right there, poked out by Sanders, balls on the ground, taken over by NYU. As Onyeama had Sanders jump in there to poke the ball just enough. Sanders now the other way, kicks it out to Freeney. Zay Freeney high off the backboard and gets the roll. Zay Freeney, it's a 2-point game, 46-44. Philip Lawrence. Got to be more careful this time. A timeout's going to be called by U Chicago. Freeney went higher off the backboard than almost anyone I've ever seen and got it to go. And with 12:06 to go, NYU's made it the 2-point game. Checking in on Brandeis against Wash U. They have retaken the lead, 63-56. Wash U in front in that game. They have come out of the second of the locker room firing, scoring 30 points in the first 10 minutes of the second half. As Wash U's offense just imposing their will in this half. Hayden Doe with 20 points for the Bears. Toby Harris, 23 for Brandeis. $12:06 to go. Maroons 46 and the ball. Violets 44. Maroons turnovers have spiked after being nearly perfect for the first 27 minutes of play. We'll see how they handle this one. NYU will go with Hampton Sanders, Brian Musako, Chuma Oyigbo, Emmanuel Onyeama, and Zay Freeney, meeting Pietrowski, Berry, Cochran, Kana, and Karowski for the Maroons. Berry with the ball, gets past the timeline, shovels it out to Kana on the left wing. Kana with 18 to shoot. Kana works it inside to Cochran. Low pass, but he collects it. Cochran wants to back him down. Now kicks it out for Cochran, floating it in, taken away, and it's forced into the air, taken by Kana, who saves it. Only 5 to shoot for Kana, though. You got to hurry. Kana driving inside. Kana trying to force one up there. No good. Rebound taken by NYU. Zay Freeney. Running up the floor, Zay Freeney. Over Cochran's head. No good. Rebound tracked down by Karowski. He'll give it up to Kana. Kana will step back, shoot a quick three. Kana got it. Eamon Kana with 6, his first 3 of the game. Back to a 5-point Maroon lead with 11.5 to go. 49-44. 6 points for Eamon Kana. Up the floor, Hampton Sanders into a double team. He flings that to Musako. Musako will shovel it back to Freeney. Back over to Sanders, 13 to shoot in the left wing. Hampton Sanders. Motions Onyeama in to give him a screen. Sanders into a double team. Sanders has to force one up there and throws it to Musako for 3. That's an air ball. Rebound taken away by the Maroons. Jackson Pietrowski. Another great defensive series for the Maroons, who lead by 5, under 11 to play. Very harassed by Musako. He'll get him off him and give it up to Karowski. 19 to shoot. Thomas Karowski still holding. Now dribbles it, shoots it right side to Pietrowski. Pietrowski backing down his man. Oyigbo gives it to Karowski. Driving in. Karowski stripped to the ball and taken away, but a foul is called on NYU. Hampton Sanders got a hand in there and fouled Karowski. 10:35 to play. Oyigbo will exit, replaced by Susko. Freeney out, and I'm assuming we're going to see Tristan Howe here. Haven't seen the new player yet. It's not Tristan Howe. Now the inbound goes to Karowski. Flings it left side to Berry. Gets past his man Berry. Now he's going to drive. Float one up Berry. Got it. 10 for Berry. 51-44. Maroons in front with under 10.5 to play. Other end, Hampton Sanders. Does NYU have another answer in them? Cochran tries to steal from Onyeama, but he can't. Onyeama now holding. Can't find his first man. Now flings inside to Musako. Musako forks on his spot. Kicks it out to Susko. Susko goes on Karowski. Driving. Susko steps back. Flings it cross court. Here's a Musako 3, and that is no good. Rebound tapped by Susko into the hands of Karowski. Under 10 to go. Maroons by 7. Karowski at the floor. For Chicago. Feeds right side to Cochran. And behind the back, no, will keep it. Cochran now. Cochran will give it up to Barry with a head of steam. Barry driving. Barry floating one up, and it's no good. Rebound taken by Susko of NYU, who trail by 7. Sanders the other direction on Kurowski. Hampton Sanders flings it cross court to Susko. Susko wants to drive, but he's forced out by Pietrowski. Gives it left side to Josh Menard. Menard around an Anyama screen. Menard forced it in with nothing. Poked out by Barry, taken away. But it's gotten back by Menard. Other end, Susko feeds inside to Anyama. Backing down Cochran, Anyama. Anyama floats one up and gets it. Anyama, physical play. He's got 8 points. More than he had in game 1. 51-46. Maroons in front, just over 9 to go. Barry the other direction runs into a double team. NYU defense out of sorts. Kurowski takes a 3, and it's too short and no good. Cochran can't fight for the rebound, but it's taken away by Musako, as he had 2 NYU defenders right in front of him. Other end, Menard flings right side to Musako. Kicks it back to Menard. Menard, Giro step on, Kenoff, poked at, and he'll have to get it back. Now flings it right side to Sanders. 15 to shoot for Hampton Sanders. Around a screen from Anyama. Sanders through the lane. On the ground, Sanders somehow recovered the ball. Gets into a drive Musako, and he's fouled. Count the bucket. Not fouled, what am I saying? But Musako did get the 2 points. 51-48. 8.5 to play. Maroons need an answer right now. Barrett the other direction. Shovel pass left side to Kurowski. Thomas Kurowski, 16 to shoot. Kurowski holding, giving left side to Kana. Goes around a screen, now feeds right side to Kurowski. Looks to give it up and goes to Pietrowski. 7 to shoot for Pietrowski, who drives inside, kicks it out to Kurowski. 4 to shoot. Kurowski got to get it off. He drives to the basket, floats one up, and gets it. Thomas Kurowski, as the shot clock was expiring, makes it a 5-point game. 15 for Thomas Kurowski, and under 8 minutes to play. Maroons still in front, 53-48 on the road. Sanders the other direction, guarded by Kurowski. Hampton Sanders around an Anyama screen. Sanders given space. Now he'll try to fling it somewhere else. Goes to Menard. Menard bumps past Kanab, but gets back. 10 to shoot for Menard. Still holding on the right wing, Josh Menard. Goes inside Menard, kicks it to the corner, where it's a 2 taken from Susko, and it's no good. Anyama gets it back and puts it up and in, as the Maroons vacated right under the paint, and it bounced right to Anyama for the easy 2. He's got double figures with 10 points. 53-50, a timeout's going to be called off that sequence by NYU. They have 3 remaining, as they have cut to a 3-point game once again, but they have not led all second half. Susko with 12, Anyama with 10, Zay Freeney with 9 to lead all Violets. Thomas Kurowski 15 and Barry 10 for the Maroons. Those 2 have kept them in front with their physical play here in the second half. Tristan Howe has been sitting on the bench for a while, and NYU has been doing just fine without him, but they will bring him back in alongside Susko, Freeney, Stone, and one more. Maroons will go with Pitt, Lawrence, Smith, Kurowski, and Barry. Pitt to inbound for the Maroons, who lead by 3. 7:26 to play. Sanders draped all over Lawrence, who gets the inbound. Lawrence will work his way past Smith. Sanders sticking with him. Lawrence across the timeline with 7:18 to go. Shovels it inside to Smith. Flings it back out to Barry. Behind the back to Lawrence. 17 to shoot for Lawrence, who drives left, gives up to Kurowski. Feeds inside to Smith, but is taken away by NYU. Goes up the floor to Stone. Looks to give it up. Goes to Freeney. Maroons settle into half court. Stone left side fling to Susko. Around a screen from Howe. And he'll try to find Howe. Goes inside to Howe. Floats one up. Howe is short, but it goes in anyway. Tristan Howe with 6 points. It's a 1-point game. 53-52. NYU as close as they've been all half. Lawrence harassed in the backcourt, and it's poked at, but Smith keeps it. Maroons have numbers. They fling it cross court to Barry. Joe Barry works across the timeline to Lawrence now. Feeds right side to Pitt. Other end to Kurowski. Around a screen, Kurowski. Working his way inside Kurowski. Shovel, spins, shoots, and makes it. Kurowski on the lay-in. Makes it a 3-point game again. Under 6.5 to go. 55-52. Maroons in front. Other end is Stone. Feeds top of the key to Susko. Back over to Stone. Stone around a screen. Stone forcing his way inside. Loses the ball, but it gets taken by Susko and put up and in. As another bounce goes right to an NYU player, and it's 14 points for Brock Susko. 55-54 with 6 to go in the second half. The Maroons have another answer in them. Feeds right side, but it's poked up by Susko, and he almost got the steal, but he knocked it out of bounds. It's taken by the Maroons. As the NYU defense going for a steal on every single pass, it seems. 55-54. Amon Kanata inbound, who re-enters the game replacing Joe Barry. 20-second shot clock. Kanata looking around. They'll try to get to Lawrence, and they will. Lawrence feeds it left side to Pitt. Pitt, top of the key to Smith. Luke Smith keeps the ball, now gives it to his second option, Amon Kanata. Kanata driving inside, kicks out to Kurowski. Kurowski rolls, Key kicks out, Pitt for three. Noah Pitt off the mark. Rebounds Lawrence, Chicago finds the spot, gives it into Pitt. Ball ends up on the ground, and it's forced out of bounds. It'll stay with the Maroons. As Pitt was surrounded by 3 Violets in the paint and managed to keep the ball. 5:38 to go. Maroons by a point, 55-54 in a high-octane battle in New York. Kurowski with the inbound. He lobs it up to Kanata, who collects it, drives immediately. Kanata spins, kicks out to Kurowski. He'll try to create some space, but he loses the ball, taken by Stone. On the ground, kicks up by Smith. Smith will spin around, shoot a desperation heave. No good. Pitt shovels out to Freeney. Freeney with the ball in the front court. On Lawrence. Freeney, Euro step, blocked into the air. And it's taken in, then scored by Tristan Howe. As he just jumped into the lane and scored it. And NYU has their first lead of the second half. 56-55. 8 points for Tristan Howe. Do the Maroons have something in them? Ball fed right side to Kanata. Pushed off his spot by Freeney. Now fed to Kurowski. 13 to shoot for Thomas Kurowski. Maroons down by a point. Kurowski harassed. Kurowski flings it inside to Pitt with a head of steam inside on Onyeama. Got it in. Noah Pitt with 8 points. They're back in front. 57-56. Now the Maroon defense needs a stop. Other end, Jack Stone. Shovels it to Freeney. Behind the back to Stone. Stone going around a couple of screens. Stone driving. Stone kicks out now. Susko well covered. Flings left side to Howe. Looking to go in. Susko. Inside feed to Onyeama. 12 to shoot. Onyeama in the paint. Hooks one up and gets it on Onyeama. He's got 12. The big man's hook has been working. NYU back in front. 58-57. Just over 4 minutes left to play in the second half. Lawrence feeds left side to Kanata. Back over to Kurowski. Kanata gets the ball on the roll. Kanata driving. Kicks out to Pitt. And Pitt will get it back over to Kurowski. He wants to drive. Kurowski into the lane. Jump stop. And he traveled. Dragged his foot on the jump stop and turned it over. Thomas Kurowski. And now the Maroons defense will be going to try to get a stop while trailing for the first time all night. Jack Stone not contested on the inbound. He'll let it roll for as long as he can and take it cross court. Now Stone working around an Onyeama screen. Pushed off his spot and taken by Howe. Driving in Howe. Kicks out now Susko. Brock Susko. Around another screen from Howe. Susko driving on Pietrowski. Susko spins around, kicks to Howe. Now goes top of the key. Onyeama behind it back to Stone. Jack Stone, other end. Jack Stone works his way in. Off the foot of Onyeama, taken away by the Maroons. Amon Kanata off the floor. Kanata will roll in. Will try to look for a kick out. Now goes to Kurowski. He'll launch a quick three. Kurowski, too strong, no good. Rebound taken away by NYU's Emmanuel Onyeama. Under 3.5 to go. NYU up by a point, 58-57. And they will slow it down here. As Zay Freeney will hold. 18 to shoot. Freeney works to the left wing. Goes around an Onyeama screen. Pushed off his spot, slings it out to Howe. Howe looking in, now goes to the corner. Now it's taken by Stone. 9 to shoot for Jack Stone. Feeds right side back to Stone. Stone wants to drive. Stone harassed, poke at the ball and taken away. Ball, they got to get a shot up. Onyeama can't get the roll. Rebound fought for on the ground. It's taken by NYU. Ball still loose. Stone has the ball, and he'll try to kick it out now. Stone gets the ball, shoots a quick three. Jack Stone, and it's no good. Rebound taken by the Maroons. As after all that, they hold up, and they still have a chance to take the lead here. 2:40 to go. NYU up by 1, 58-57. Barry feeds left side Kanata. His defender fell down and will get called for a foul. Daniel Cochran was called for the moving screen. It's another turnover for this Maroon offense. First foul on Cochran in the fourth in the Maroons. 2.5 to go. NYU holding an advantage. 58-57. as Zay Freeney will inbound to Sanders. Sanders will work across the timeline. Maroons need another stop here. And a quick foul called. No, they'll call a timeout. NYU will after the ball crossed the timeline. 2:28 to go. 2 timeouts left for the Violets. Maroons' perfect road record in jeopardy with NYU up by 1, 58-57. Chicago only 23 points in the half. 21, rather. Their defense has kept them in it, but they need another couple stops here. Brandeis is retaking the lead against Wash U, 70-68 in that one. Two pair of thrilling games here in New England. How will the Maroon defense respond as they're getting challenged again and again? They've held up so far, but this Violet team has so many weapons, it's hard to keep them off the board forever. Violet's only 1 loss all season, but the Maroons nothing on the road. They're 9-0, looking to go to 10-0. It starts with getting a stop out of this timeout. 2 left for the Violets. Emmanuel Anya, Brock Susko, Hampton Sanders, Zay Freeney, and Tristan Howe will come out with Jack Stone on the bench after that chaotic sequence that ended with him missing a 3. They'll have the ball in the front court. Susko will inbound. Cochran, Berry, Piotrowski, Karowski, and Kanal on the floor for the Maroons. They have leaned on their starters whenever they've needed a big play, especially on the road. Susko inbounds to Freeney. Freeney feeds it left side to Sanders. Sanders driving in. Sanders all the way out of the basket. Forces it up to Anyama. Poker in the back and fouled. As the ball was quickly forced out of Anyama's hands and the foul went to Jackson Piotrowski. That'll be his 3rd and the 4th on New Chicago. It will be a floor foul, so it will be an inbound from Sanders with a new 20-second shot clock. Make that the 5th foul on New Chicago. Sanders lobs it up to Anyama. Back to Sanders. Fakes a 3. Now Sanders rolling with Karowski. Sanders on the right wing, motioning men around. Kicks over to Susko. Rock Susko, 10 to shoot. Susko behind the back to Sanders. 6 to shoot. Sanders getting a screen from Anyama, driving inside. Sanders forcing one up, no good, and a foul is going to be called as Sanders got bailed out on a foul by Karowski. Call for the shooting foul. It'll send Hampton Sanders to the line for 2 with 2:02 to play. Sanders on the season, shooting 91% from the foul line, almost the perfect guy to have up here, and his first shot is good. 9 points for Hampton Sanders, and NYU now leads by 2. Not usually expecting a guy like Sanders to slip up here at the free throw line. Sanders breeze, dribbles, shoots his 2nd, and it's no good. Rebound Cochran, New Chicago. Gives it up to Karowski. Under 2 minutes to play. Do the Maroons have some more magic in them? Berry up the floor onto the NYU logo. Feeds it left side to Kana. Eamon Kana, 17 to shoot. Kana holding. Feeds it inside. Taken by Cochran. Cochran will back down. Howe lose the ball. Kicks over to Piotrowski for 3. That's no good. Howe the rebound for NYU. And the Maroons come up empty once again. Now they really need a defensive stop. NYU 59, Maroons 57. A minute and a half to go. Hampton Sanders holding against Karowski. Susko will release and give Sanders a screen. And we'll see. They'll play man. They'll keep Karowski on him. Sanders loses the ball. Picked up by the Maroons. And it's still on the ground. A foul is going to be called as a crash occurred between Sanders and Cochran. And Sanders was called for the foul. His 2nd. Hampton Sanders, the 4th foul that will give the Maroons another chance to tie or take the lead. 1:18 to go. Berry gets the inbound for the next Maroon possession. Don't even know how many more times that they'll touch the ball here. Joe Barry holding. Kurowski trying to release. He does eventually, but it's flung left side to Kana instead. Eamon Kana holding against Freeney. Feeds right side to Barry. 14 to shoot. 1 minute to go. Fed right side to Kurowski. Shoots from the free throw line. Kurowski was fading away and got it. Thomas Kurowski hits the clutch shot. Timeout called by U Chicago as they've tied the game at 59. With 57.2 to go, Thomas Kurowski hits the clutch shot. Of course he did. And the Maroons are not dead yet on the road. It's 59 all. Oh. You could just tell that shot was going to Kurowski, too. NYU's season low scoring output is 65. That is what Emory held them to in their only loss of the season. That was at home. They're currently at 59. 1 week after giving up their highest scoring output of the year, the Chicago defense has played incredible, but they need a little bit more to win this game in the Big Apple. Maroons will go with their 5 starters. They've got 3 timeouts left. NYU has 2. 59 to 59. We're in for a thrilling finish to another Maroons top 5 road showdown. Can they get this all-important win for the conference title race and for the NCAA tournament race as they seek their first berth since 2008? And to beat Dave Klotsky, something this group of Maroons has never done. Maroons break their huddle with the 5 starters. NYU with the ball. Possession arrow favors U Chicago. We have not had a tie-up all game. Onyeama, Sanders, Susko, Freeney, and Howe. Jack Stone still on the bench. The star transfer from Carnegie Mellon. How will the Maroons do here? Sanders gets the inbound and faces down Kurowski. Sanders crosses the timeline. 52 seconds to play. Sanders looking for an Onyeama screen. Goes around the right end. Sanders trying to lay one up, and it's no good. Rebound taken by the Maroons. Eamon Kana. And now they've got a chance. 40 seconds left. Barry will man point. Shot and game clock about 13-second difference. Barry has the ball poked out by Sanders, taken away, but it's fed right side now to Kana. Top of the key goes to Barry. 14 to shoot for Barry. Feeds left side. Kurowski at the free throw line. Steps back, spins around, shoots from mid-range. Kurowski can't bank it in. Rebound NYU. Susko with the ball. 18 seconds left. And Susko has on the right wing. 14 seconds, and they will call a timeout. 15.3 to go as the shot from Kurowski came up wide. And NYU will talk this one over. With 15.3 to go, it's their chance to win it, as both teams' shots did not go down. 59 to 59. Maroons have played their hearts out against the number 3 team in D3, but isn't enough. NYU with 1 timeout left. Maroons cannot give a foul. They've already given up 6. Any foul will be a 1-and-1. And Lord knows NYU is a good free throw shooting team. Almost every guy they could realistically have out there is better than 66% from the free throw line. So you cannot hack a bad shooter and expect to get anything. Sanders, Stone, Freeney, Susko, and Howe with Onyeama on the bench. Maroons will send out Barry, Kana, Kurowski, Cochran, Pietrowski for one more defensive stand. 15.3. Shot clock turned off. Susko to inbound for NYU to try and win this game. Susko gets it out to a releasing Freeney. He feeds to Stone. 12 seconds. Jack Stone standing on the NYU logo. Kana giving him ground. 8 seconds left. Stone Going around a screen. Stone driving. Stone laying it up and no good. No foul. Then a Maroon poker in the back with 0.2 seconds left. A Maroon got knocked over. The ball went out of bounds. And it will be Maroon's ball. They do not have enough time to shoot, so it'll have to be a quick tip. We're going to have a timeout called as they deny Jack Stone the easy look. He has to try and bank one in and can't get it to go. 0.2 on the second half clock. It will be Maroons basketball with not enough time to get a shot up. It'd have to be a tip. And if the Maroons win this game off a tipped 60-footer, I don't know. Like, I don't know how you even, like, call that, comprehend that. Maroons have played one overtime game this year. They defeated Emory and held the Eagles to just 2 points in the final 5 minutes, while using their superior free throw shooting to close that one out and get a win over the number 2 team on the road. Refs are still discussing at the monitor, perhaps looking for whose ball this is. It was forced out of bounds. They'll put 0.3 of a second back on the clock and make it 0.5, so that is enough time to get a shot up. Still not any sort of time to get a meaningful good look, assuming it is Maroon basketball. And it's NYU ball. They'll say that it went off the hands of a Maroon out of bounds, and NYU will have another chance to hit a game-winning shot. Maroons have to hunker down one more time. Onyeama, Freeney, Sanders, Howe, and Susko on the floor for the Violets. Sanders will inbound right of the basket. 0.5 seconds for the Maroons to hold and send this game to overtime. If NYU gets a shot in, they win. Cochran, they'll send in Luke Smith, Cochran, Barry, Kurowski, and Piotrowski. So Kanan not on the floor for this possession. And a timeout's going to be called by Mike McGrath. Awarded possession to NYU and put 0.3 of a second back on the clock out of that last possession where Stone missed the layup and got it forced out. Brian Musako also doing some over-the-shoulder coaching for the Violets on their bench. 59-59. Maroons looking to get one final stop, send this game to overtime, and then win it there. Nobody in foul trouble for either team. Tristan Howe, Jackson Piotrowski with 3 each, but nobody imminently in danger of getting fouled out should this game go to overtime. But first, defense. NYU has not played an overtime game all season, and their lowest regulation scoring total is 65, so this will almost certainly be less than that. They're at 59 right now. Maroon defense has played almost their best game of the season. Their adjustments to game one have been excellent. And it might still not be enough if they cannot get a stop here or in overtime. NYU will break the huddle with Brock Susko, Tristan Howe, Emmanuel Onyeama, Hampton Sanders, and Zay Freeney. In the same formation they were in before the timeout. Maroons will go with Smith, Cochran, Barry, Kana, and Kurowski. So they'll make a change with Piotrowski out. Hampton Sanders to inbound. 0.5 seconds on the clock. Does the Maroon defense have something in them? Sanders flings it inside to a layup, and it's good, and the game is over. Brock Susko on the game-ending layup. And the celebration starts in the Big Apple as Sanders found Susko for the win. And this game is over. With that extra 0.3 seconds put on the clock out of possession, Brock Susko found driving to the basket as the Maroons abandon the paint. And he walks off the Maroons and hands them their first road loss of the season. Maroons are gathered up. They might be looking at a replay of the clock. It did not look like there was any chance Susko did not get that ball up before half a second had elapsed. And that's what Emmanuel Anyama thinks when he's looking at the monitor. And this game is over. NYU wins on a buzzer beater 61-59 as Brock Susko is the hero for the Violets. The Maroons take their 5th loss of the season, their first on the road, and their 7th straight to the NYU Violets. They'll be back in action on Sunday as they visit Brandeis and look to bounce back and get their 15th win here on